Kawama. Let me put it here. Kawama. Aka Awata. Well, you've if you've been listening to me, you notice that the videos are not frequent, right? There are other reasons. There are different reasons, which I won't, I, I, I don't get to go into. But one of the reasons is over this period that I didn't post messages. I indeed have messages to post, but these messages were shelved. You know, I have messages here. They were shelved because the topic I picked on, the spirit Rawa Kaha Kadasha, the Holy Spirit did not allow this message to go out. You know, beside all the YouTube messing about with this algorithm. One of the message I was working on past 2 months is a dream by Dana Kovastin, and he's a dreamer, and I believe the Lord has been given Esau. Dana Kovastin is a Christian pastor, and he's an Edomite pastor. So it's a typical proof. Is it, you know, when the children of Israel were in Egypt, the Egyptians were plagued with dreams. They were tormented with dreams of what were dreams of the future, and they don't understand it. I believe same phenomena is happening today. The Christian Edomite, the Christian all around the world, not only the Edomite, the Muslims, the Chinese, you see they are having dreams of, they are seeing sightings of spacecraft, UFO. They are saying Jesus coming. They are saying Jesus coming back in the many videos on the YouTube. But this particular dream that Dana Kovastin had it in December 14, 2020. But I chanced upon this video on the YouTube, and he was saying he saw in his dream 50 men marching in a straight file, wearing construction clothing. They went to a field a field with trees. Now, I'm going to talk about the part of the you can chop the dream in pieces, and the part I will talk about is relating to, it's a prophetic dream which this man had, and it's relating to the period we are living in. and it's relating to what is going to happen. He had this dream in 2020. Now, what he dreamt about is started happening in 2020, but the dream now you can see it now because the things he dreamt about are happening now, right now. The 50 men that has the 50 men that are marching in straight file wearing construction gear, all yeah. The intention is to pull the chain, to pull the chain and carry it to the and carry them and to the borders of each state in such a way that they will surround the state. They will surround each state, which were represented by animal symbology. He mentioned in his dream, he saw mule, he saw horses, he saw mule, horses. What else did he see? Let me see. He saw mule, horses with he saw. Let me see. I get the pardon. Yeah, mule, horses, and oxen. The states were represented with this animal imagery. Biblical, in Bible, in the scriptures, Hebraic, nations are represented, or human are represented by animal symbology. We are also represented with trees. And true to form, this man saw trees. And the chain were interlocked in the back and the pop, or he said he called it, but the stem. It's like the chain that they were pulling was woven into the root and the bark and the stem of the tree. And they were trying to pull out all the chain to encompass all the state of the union, to surround all the state of the union, right? But, like he talks about dark. You talk about thunder, lightning, dark sky, and suddenly sunny. Cherry blossom tree, but the leaves were shed. Like it was summer, and you will expect a fruit, but the fruit were falling down. So like it's like Yahushua, when he was going into a city, maybe Jerusalem, he saw a tree he saw a tree that is fully mature in terms of the mature the fig leaves. The fig, it's a fig tree, and the leaves and the color is green and it's lush. Yahusha expects fruit expect figs on that leaf, but when it got to the leaves, there is no fig on it. But in this dream, it's summertime. The trees are fully grown. The leaves are come out, but the trees are shedding their leaves. prematurely. That is symbolic, but that is not the point I'm going to address. The tree and the chain represent as the spirit witness with me, right? Even if you know the scripture, you can decode that dream easily if you know the scripture. The chain, he describes it as sheep type or sheep size chain, not ordinary chain, not that checkered chain. That's those heavy chain, 100-pound weight in chain, like interlocking the chain, heavy chains that they use to on the ship, that they used to that the big ship used to using when they want to anchor the chain to the harbor. That type of chain that they used when the slaves were coming to America. That type of chain. Now, I don't want to talk about the two. I will show you the video, and it says 5 minutes, about 5 minutes time on it, and you will see the narration of the dream. But I am just selecting the parts I will address for the purpose of this video. The children of Israel are the trees and the chains on them. Now the chain is on their mind. The chain is on their mind because it's interlocked with the pop and the back of the tree, the stem and the side, and they were pulling this chain. These 50 men were pulling those chain. These 50 men represent the key holders, the gatekeepers of the nation of United States, the key holders of that nation, the planners of the current event, the planners of the current event, the Masons, the Warlocks, the alphabet communities, the intelligence community. There's 17 intelligence community plus the one that we don't know. Think tanks. All these people. The Vice President of United States. The type of works like assassination, the type of wet works. Vice President is the one that is in charge of that of wet works in any administration. In any administration, wet works, covert operations, killing people, but not killing people, but using ghost operative to do wet works. Those are it is part of the vice president task. It's his job. That is his job. Wet works. You will see this function of a vice president, any vice president at all. That is the job of Kamala Harris. Now, this latest gas pipeline, colonial gas pipeline, Kamala is one of them, because that sort of thing, like the bombing of Twin Towers, that's the job of a vice president. those clandestine operations, wet works, killing, assassination, all this. That is the job of the vice president and the CIA and all this 17. Because in one of this, in one of in another dream of this man, the one I interpreted the dream. But not to say I interpreted in one of the videos on my channel. Go and check it. Right now, going back to this dream. The children of Israel symbolize, the tree stands for the children of Israel and other races. It stands for other races. The mule, as he himself, one of the pastor with him on the video, which you will see later, he even confirmed that, yeah, scripturally, nations, men are archetypal of beast. So he interpreted that correctly. The chains. So the dream is even showing this pastor. Maybe he knows, maybe he don't know. I am not sure. I'm not in his head. Testifying that these people have chains on them. There are people in chains in the United States on their mind. There are people who are the bottom of the totem pole, bottom of the food chain. Those people, the African American, Hispanics, and the Native American, those are the totem pole. But now they want to increase, they want to expand the oppression. They want to expand the oppression to all the middle class and the poor people. They want to expand oppression to now they want to use, now you see, the colonial pipeline. Look at the map which I will show you. Those are the red states. Remember, the dream says there's this tree. They pull the chain round all the border state of the state of the union, and the mule animals, the mule and the horses, they were coming and bucking against the fences of the chain. Yeah, they were bucking against it and they were moving back. And you also say some of the chain, you also see the chains took up the form. The chain heads took up the form of a snake. And anybody that come near it, they were biting them. The chain heads are the watchmen on the highways and the byways. And everybody that come, the chain bites them. Some die, some foaming at the mouth, some fall, some they didn't die, so fall down, foaming at the mind. I'm not sure if you say some die or not. Some die, some get up, some fall down, foaming at the mouth, and gnashing teeth and anyhow. Anyway, the Hebrew Israelites are the ones with chains. They are the ones at the bottom of the food chain. They were the one oppressed. These are the oppressed people. Chain symbolizes oppression. So these are the oppressed people. And now the Europeans are now being oppressed too. The wealth, now there's transfer of wealth from the middle class and from the poor to the 1%er. Transfer. Even in this COVID-19, the 1% are increasing in wealth exponentially, while the middle class and the poor people are entering into poverty exponentially. Now, they expand. This is like expanding system of oppression. How do they expand the system of oppression? By introducing the vaccine passport. The introduction of vaccine passport will exponentially increase difficulty for most people, for the red state, those people who buck against the propaganda. Confirmation. I have said this before. We have said before. If you've been watching the Hebrew Israelites, the QAnon, there was the QAnon phenomena, and there's a video I did, and I said, George Soros is the owner of that lab in Wuhan. Owner of that lab in Wuhan where the COVID-19 were cooked up. He jointly owned it with China. Listen, look. USA, European Union are partly owners of that lab. European Union know about that lab. They were part, if not the European state, but European Union Parliament or all those they were part owner of this thing. So George Soros is just a poster boy of COVID-19. He owns a share in it, but is not the main man. George Soros is the main man. Nobody ever mentioned his name in all these things. But they're mentioning Bill Gates, as if Bill Gates can do it himself. Bill Gates is having a marriage divorce, all these things. All these things are pre-planned. All these things are pre-planned. It's having a divorce program so that they gave you a problem to distract you from the main thing. Because all this criticism that is the devil, he has forked tongue, all these things. So they want you to have another problem to focus on, distract you from the fact that they are calling human beings like a cattle. They are calling, CULLING, calling human beings like cattle in India as we speak. Hundreds of thousands. They deny the hospital of oxygen. Not that oxygen will help. They give them oxygen, but it's fake. They put oxygen on the people just for the camera. There's no oxygen. They intend to let these people die. They are killing. Like Brazil president says, this is bioweapon. Brazil's president says, this is bioweapon. This is murder. He asked for Brazil president asked for vaccine from Russia, which worked to some extent. I don't know why. Yeah, it worked because when they sprayed that thing, people start coughing and people start showing system of these things. Brazil bought it, and when they exported to Brazil, they said no. People from the top said no. You must have the Johnson & Johnson or AstraZeneca or the other ones. You cannot use the Russian vaccine. That's why the man was frustrated. He was frustrated and he was powerless. Brazil president, cannot use Russian vaccine, which he has. He is forced to use Johnson & Johnson AstraZeneca vaccine and all of our American vaccine. Any vaccine in Europe that they produce, that one he must use in Brazil. Because a lot of children of Israel, Yoruba people are 80% of Brazil. Manasseh, Ephraim, that is Brazil. Manasseh, Ephraim, all the northern tribes are in Brazil. In fact, the largest population of Yoruba people outside of Nigeria is in Brazil. It's in South America, Ecuadorian. There is an island. You people do not know it. There's an island in South America that is named after you. I don't know. I can't remember the word perfectly, but it's Yoruba people there. Show you that the children of Israel, this man wants to protect his people, but that's why he went out, and there's an attack on him on this I've seen online. It's an attack on him that how dare you call it a bioweapon? Now what they did today, the news, this thing, I'll put it on the video. You will see it for yourself. China has now come out and confirm what we've already known long time. What we've already known, what has already been exposed. So what is going on now is exposure. Revealing the scat of the man of sin, the man of perdition, the son of perdition, the son of destruction. If you do not believe this man Esau is the son of destruction, you need to have your head examined. If you do not believe that this is the beast that was referred to in the scripture, you need to have your head examined. Bible is written in slangs, in parables, in similes, in in the words are escaping me right now. It's so amazing. Save yourself. Listen to the Hebrew Israelite. Though I am not a good speaker, you see, the words does not flow from me. It's flow out of me smoothly. As a result, consequently, if you do not like my delivery because of my elocution, because my diction is deficient, because my elocution is deficient, then go and watch similar YouTuber, content creator, Hebrew Israelite that is espousing, that is pushing this doctrine, this new doctrine. They've pushed why Jesus 400 years, for 450 years, why Jesus has been pushed. You are still in your condition. Jesus has not come. But Hebrew Israelite came out and started flooding the internet with the true name of our power, jogging your memory, jarring your brain, your cerebral cortex, jarring it, like you shake a little boy and you jar his brain and the boy die. This truth is a bombshell, and it is very, very, very divisive. This truth is very divisive. This is the new music. You better learn the music and join in and sing with us. We are the Hebrew Israelite. We are the sons of Yahaikaba. Yahaikabaha. We are the sons of Jacob. You better sing along. Do not be part of the two-third. $144,000 elect are 12,000 from each tribe. I saw videos of some European guy or some Jewish guy. Says, these people are. They're not got. These people are not going to hear, and they're not going to. They're not going to give up their position. They're like death adder, deaf. This soup of lies, this soup they cook for themselves. lies that they cook for themselves. This exposure is exposure that we're seeing, QAnon, revelations, their tongue falling on each other. These are exposures. And exposing the beast. And Satan, this is exposure of Satan. And Satan, there are many Satan. There are many Satan. There are many Antichrist. Antichrist is not somebody you expect with horns and bees and all the bees. These are allegories. These are metaphors. These are symbolism. Like the symbolism, Genesis 1, trees, talking about tribes of people. Tribes of people. And the Lord chose one tree for himself. Adama. And the Lord chose Adama. And he called them in the book of Genesis is one man. But it's called that one man them. See, Bible is written in codes. Adama. Whenever you see ma at the end of words, suggests many, plural. In most cases, in some cases, in the scripture, Hebrew language. Adam are a tribe of peoples in earlier times. There are other peoples in those days. They call them creatures. Creatures. So, my friend, I am going to post the videos attached to this video I'm doing. What is it? What is this thing? Let me see. This thing. West, I think. Texas. Okay, Texas News Studio. Texas News Studio. They I think it is supported by Alex Jones. I think it's connected to Alex Jones, and they bring out, because Alex Jones is an insider. Alex Jones is linked to the CIA, because one of I think his handler is Pachanik, Dr. Pachanik. He likes to refer to Dr. Pachanik. Is it Pachanik or Pachanik? Pachanik is an economic what do they call them? The people they send into nations to economic Steve Pachanik is an economic economic something they call them. They will send him to nations to overthrow regime they don't want, to start revolution, orange revolution, yellow revolution, green revolution, to start movement that is that is seditious, economic henchman. Yeah, it's an economic. Steve Pachenik is an Dr. Steve Pachenik is an economic henchman. I think Dr. Pachenik is Alex Jones' handler. I believe. I have no proof, but I believe because, and Alex Jones also has other sources, but Alex Jones tends to have sources that are tight. You know, so that is why he's not been killed. So Texas News Studio is close. Is I think sponsored by Alex Jones, I believe. Alex Jones now in Canada, by the way. He's not in Texas. He is no more longer in Texas. He's in Canada. So this neck chain dream that Pastor Dana Coverston had, I have now been able. That is why That is why the spirit has not. I couldn't upload it. It does not feel right. It's just not. Even when I try to upload it, my system will just break down. It will not work. Something will be wrong with the video. Then I'll just take it off. So now having this event that is happening now, and this event will set off the inflation. This event, like I told you, is part of the portfolio of the vice president. Anything covert, anything wet works, anything overthrow of regime, this is part of the portfolio of the vice president. And of course, CIA, and of course, the other 16 alphabet community, NSA, they have 17 in the United States. Yeah. So these colonial pipelines, these are internal work. There's no Chinese hacker, there's no Russian hacker anywhere that will come in and hack. I mean, there's this. There was a time in the news. There was this British guy that hacked into United States system. Is it you hack into whatever the defense system or the within a week or within a few days they trace him to United States, but they cannot just come and grab him, and the guy got lawyers to fight off the extradition order. Eventually they release him. Eventually they had to. UK had to agree. I don't know what the situation of the man or the thing. The story the story just died off. Because they battled the extradition order of that guy. I mean, they can find somebody in Timbuktu trying to hack into their system, and they cannot find hacker that is hacking into a system that is so important. So it's lifeline of United States. Somebody hack into it, and they don't know. It's an internet job. It's an internet job. Like the first dream. Dana Kovacic says, the first dream, you will see the dream in my video. I interpreted one of his dream on my channel. One of it in the video, he alluded to people, he saw people, dark suit, they were wearing glasses, and they were meeting on the underground. They were having meeting. And one man was speaking and all these things. And it was that. Yeah. Go and watch this TV series. I don't know whether it's in Stars or I don't know what TV station that is or network that is doing that TV station. It stars Kerry Washington as problem solver, as Mr. Fix-It. Kerry Washington is a star in that program, and she works as Mr. Fix-It, political fixer in that program, and she double up as the girlfriend of the president, a bedwench. Yeah. So anything that happens, go and watch the series, all of it. You will see. I don't know if it's in season 5 or 6. Season 5 or 6. They expose one of the portfolio of the vice president. That is why I know that what is happening now is an inside job, not Russian hacker, not Chinese hacker at all. No hacker anywhere in the world can hack into that system in the United States that will not be found within 24 hours. They will find that person. Within 24 hours, they will find that person. And if they do not, this pipeline, if they did not restart it, is because they don't want to restart it. They want to create artificial scarcity. The onset of hyperinflation. They want to kill off the dollar. They want to do away with the dollar. At the same time, the blue state has introduced program of passport. The prophecy says I don't know, it's in Second Ezra, I don't know. Second Ezra, I don't know. A man will want to go to the next town. He will not be able to. Quarantine is coming back. Vaccination passport. They've introduced a program of. They introduced it in California, and all the blue states will follow suit. But the red state, are bucking against that. They refuse to. Because of the red state, they refuse vaccine. They took the first vaccine. Because I don't know how many vaccine the jab they have to take, but I think everybody, all the white state, all the white, blue, red, they've taken the first jab, but the rest they said no more jab. The rest state refused to take any more jab, but the blue state go along because they're liberal state. They are liberal state. So I don't know how I'm going to title this video. I encourage you guys, please watch my videos. Please go to my channel, subscribe to it. Go and watch my videos on my channel. It is illuminating. This is what shall I say? Revealing or taking off this, exposing the beast, exposing the man of perdition, the son of destruction. These exposures, all these exposures, no foreign hacker can hack into the system, a defense system, food security, into the food security system. Food is a weapon of war. Food is a weapon of war, and energy is a weapon of war. And nobody can hack in that system in the United States. No foreigner can hack into that system. That is declaration of war. That is a declaration of war. Why are they not shouting to? Why are they not shouting? It's China. That's war. That's getting. No. That's declaration of war. So you can see yourself. Open your eyes. See for yourself that this is an internet job, inside job. The key holders. Remember the 50 men marching straight file in the dream, and they pulling the chain. They're pulling the chain, and they were hurt. They were bruised. The key holders, the landlord of the nation, the key holders, they took a loss. Some of them take a loss in all these things, activities they are doing. Yes, some of them will take a loss. They take a loss financially. They take a loss economically. They want to induce scarcity, and they want to do away with the dollar. Kawama, Aka Awata. Arise, brethren.
Hey everybody, Pastor Dana Coverstone. I am at Nashville, Arkansas at First Assembly of God with my good friends, and we're here to unpack a dream. And we spent a couple hours last night. You can see the marker board behind me. We unpacked a dream I've recently had, and this is our first time to meet like this. And so we're excited about it, and hope it'll be the first of many times. But this is John Reddenbo, and Cherie Goff, and we are here to share a dream and unpack it. So here it is. I saw cherry blossoms in Washington, D.C., and there was a brilliant sun cutting through a foggy haze early in the morning. But then there was a bolt of lightning that went across the sky from straight up to the clouds, and a very loud and long-lasting clap of thunder that ended with a huge rainfall for just a few moments. But the rain stopped just as suddenly, and the sun was out again as if a high noon day. There were silver and gold flecks on the clouds, and they were glistening like diamonds. The cherry blossom leaves began to fall off the trees slowly at first, and then a hand appeared and began to rip them off the trees in clumps. The wind was blowing them up into the air, and then a tornado funnel appeared, and it picked up all the leaves, put them up in the air, and then it disappeared, and the leaves all fell to the ground, and they covered every square inch of the ground.
For just $67, you can...
These were leafless and appeared very gnarled and ugly. And the health of the trees seemed to be in question, but as I got leaves all fell to the ground, and they covered every square inch of the ground. The air then became very dark, and gray clouds appeared in the sky, and the trees were leafless and appeared very gnarled and ugly. And the health of the trees seemed to be in question, but as I got closer to them, I saw that the trunk and the limbs of the trees were actually covered in large links of chains. And these chains were about the size of boat chains. And they must have weighed 100 pounds, or hundreds of pounds. The leaves on the ground seemed to be about a foot deep around the trees. And then I saw a group of men marching in a straight line along the National Mall, and they were wearing hiking boots and work clothes, or what you would consider to be construction-type clothing. They each went and stood close to a specific tree. They reached down through the leaves, which were all dead and brown by now. And they reached down towards the roots of the trees, and they grabbed the lowest length of the chain, and they began to pull. As they began to pull on that chain, their faces were contorted, their muscles bulged. It was a lot of work, very intensive. It was as if the tree had grown into the chains, because as they pulled, the bark and the pulp that were interlinked between the links of the chain were cracking and popping and exploding off of the chains. These men were sweating, they were strained, and they began dragging the chains behind them back the way they came onto the scene. They strained, they kept pulling, their muscles were physically ripping, and it was even causing injury to these men as they pulled these chains. It was slowing them down, but it did not stop them from pulling the chains at all. And I saw then that they walked onto a large map of the United States of America, and each man went and laid the chains down on the boundaries of different states. And the states, which were represented by horses and mules and oxen, they were just standing there in the outline of all, or in the interior of all the states. These animals began to push against the chains like they wanted to back away. The marching men eventually connected all their chains together and laid them over the geographical boundaries of each state. And those animals were trapped and caged by the chains. And they were trying to kick against them and push against them and jump over, but they could not do it. They were trapped there. And then a shot was fired into the air, and one of the marching men yelled, "That will be heard by the whole world." And suddenly the air was filled with red, white, and blue lightning. And the crack of thunder was very loud, and the trees began to bleed from the roots. And the blood of that tree, the blood that was coming from those trees, it began to stain the ground under it until it flowed to every state boundary and through every state on the map. And the chains then coiled back like live snakes until the blood had covered the entire outlay of the state. So it just kind of moved from where the trees were in Washington, and it just moved steadily and slowly on until it covered all of the ground of the map and the boundary lines. The heads on the chains kept guarding the boundaries and hissing and spitting at anything that got close to them and biting those that got too close. I then saw people who appeared to be bitten. And once they were bitten, these people would go to the ground and start having seizures and foaming at the mouth, and then they would die. But there were some that knelt in prayer. And after they had prayed on one knee, then they approached the snake chains with a rush and no fear. And some of these people were bit by the chain snakes, but they did not go down. Others were bit and did go down, but they did not die. And they returned to praying before they approached the boundary again. They were in pain, but they kept walking to pass the boundaries, praying as they walked through. And they also seemed determined to find other people praying and join with them to pray as a larger block. And when they met in larger groups, they would sing, they would lift their hands, they would pray, they would link arms, and they would be shoulder to shoulder. And the main thing I saw with them was they had smiles on their faces. There was joy. They were appreciative and excited. And even though the snake chains were lifting up behind them and hissing and whipping, there were more groups meeting after crossing the lines to pray, and they were growing. So every state was covered with people who were praying and praying together. The clouds were still churning with evil, but the people were praying, and they stood their ground, and they prayed even louder. And that was the end of the dream that I had.